Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to our introduction guide into Dragon Ball Super the card game. This video is brought to you by Grimworks Productions. My name is John, and all we're going to show you here is the staples for each color. Now there are 4 colors in Dragon Ball Super. You have green, red, blue, and yellow. Now each color has its own function, its own play type. So first we're going to start off with green, which is generally going to be destruction, kill. Now the first 2 cards in almost every pile that I'm going to show you are going to be just about the same. They're just going to be a different name and a different color, but they're going to be the same mana cost or energy cost in this game. Sorry, Magic Spink. And they're going to have the same effects. So for green, we're going to have full power energy. It's 1 energy, and what it does is it negates an attack. Now, your opponent is still declaring an attacker, so any effect that the card has that says when this card attacks is still going to go through. The only thing you're negating is the damage from his card to yours. So, full power energy negates the attack, but it also has a secondary ability of KOing a battle card with 1 energy. So that's going to get rid of some of their pesky blockers or some of their Majin Boos, which they're saving to chunk into their combo. And we'll go over that later. The second card for the green staples list is a new card, Enraged Gohan Awakening. Now this one costs 2 energy, and it's a counter attack, so you play it while your opponent is attacking. And what you're going to do is you're going to play this card, another card from your hand, and destroy the attacking creature. So you can see that green is real big on destruction, destroying your opponent's battle cards. The next card that I'm going to show you is Trunks Protector of Children. Now this one combos for 0 and has a 0 boost, but it has the effect that whenever your life is at 4 or less, so you start at 8 life, so when you're halfway to being dead, whenever your life is at 4 or less, this will combo for 10,000 and let you draw 1 card. Every color has this card. It's just going to be a different name, different color, but the ability will be the same. You'll be able to give your leader or battle card 10,000 combo power and be able to draw a card. Now the next staple for green is going to be Raging Attacker Vegeta. This is 4 energy. It has double strike, which means when it deals damage to your opponent, it's dealing 2 damage, so it's taking away 2 of their 8 prize cards. It has counter attack, so you can play it while your opponent is attacking during their turn. And when this card comes into play, whether on your turn or your opponent's, it lets you KO one of their battle cards of energy cost 4 or less. The final staple is going to be another Vegeta. This is Furious Yell Vegeta. Double strike. Saiyans are powerful. And this one's going to have Activate Main, so only during your turn, and only once per turn, you can take 1 card from your life, so you're damaging yourself, and you're going to throw it to your graveyard, and you're going to be able to KO any battle card that your opponent has. The reason why this is so good, other than the fact that you're KOing an opponent's battle card, is because you're hitting yourself for 1. And a lot of times with a lot of leaders, your opponent is not going to let you get to 4 life, because every time you get to 4 life, your leader turns over and becomes more powerful than he already was. And for a lot of leaders out there, their secondary side is too powerful to bring out early game, so your opponent will leave you at 5 until they can finish you off in 1 hit. So you can hit yourself for that 5th life, bring yourself down to 4, kill your opponent's creature, flip your leader card over, restock your hand with the 2 cards that you draw every time your leader flips over, activate your leader's secondary ability, and devastate your opponent, when the entire time they're trying to keep you at 5. So, those are the green staples. Now we're going to move on to red. The first one, like I said, is always going to be the same. Almost always going to be the same. This is Vado's Assistance, 1 energy, counter attack, you play it when your opponent is attacking, and you negate the attack. Vado's Assistance has the secondary ability of letting you untap one of your battle cards. That's really good because red is the rush color. You're gonna play small things really fast that are gonna be able to do a lot of damage, but when your creature is tapped or turned sideways, it's vulnerable to your opponent's attack. So this lets you stop an attack and untap it so that they can't attack your battle cards. The next card we're gonna talk about is Divine Aid of Autos. Remember, every color is gonna have one of these. It's a 0 cost combo that gives you 0 power to your combo unless you're at 4 or less life, in which case it gives you 10,000 power and lets you draw a card. The next card we're going to talk about, you're going to see in almost every red deck, if not every red deck, Saiyan Kaba. He is 1 energy for a 5,000. It doesn't really seem like something to write home about, but Kaba has the ability that lets you take one of your own life cards and put it into your hand. So again, you're going to see a reoccurring theme that anything that lets you take from your own life is really good because you want to get to 4 as quickly as possible to activate your leader card. So when you use Kaba's ability, he gives himself 10,000 power, putting him at 1500, which is amazing for a 1-drop, and he gives himself double strike. So you want this on turn 1. You want this in your opening hand. If you have to chuck your entire hand into your mulligan to draw 6 cards all over again, you want to have Saiyan Kaba in your opening hand because he will devastate your opponent. Next is Kaba's Awakening. It is a 0 energy cost. You can play it for free, but you can only activate it on a red card. And what it does is it gives your red card 6,000 power for the duration of the turn. And the final card on our red list is going to be Destructive Terror Champa. Now, most red cards you're going to play are going to be really cheap energy-wise. This one is 6. So you're probably not going to be playing too many of them. 2 or 3 max. You definitely don't want to play 4 and get stuck with them in your hand. But Destructive Terror Champa, when he comes into play, he automatically destroys all of your opponent's creatures that have 15,000 or less power. And he has triple strike, so when he does attack your opponent, he's going to be hitting them really hard. Okay, the next set of cards we're going to talk about are going to be blue, and blue is going to be your energy ramp deck. It's going to be putting a lot of energy onto the battlefield very fast. So the first card we're going to talk about, same card as any other color that we've gone through, Wizz's Corrosion. It is a 1 energy for a counter attack that lets you negate the attack. The secondary ability of Wizz's Corrosion is to let you untap an energy, which is really good in blue because you're going to need your energy. The second card we're going to talk about, it's the same card that all the other colors have. 2 energy for a 0 combo cost, 0 additive to your power, unless you have 4 or less life, in which case you get to draw a card and add 10,000 to your battle card or leader. The next card we're going to talk about is the beginning of your mana ramp engine, and that's going to be Objection. For 2 energy, you can take 1 card from your hand and add it to your energy pool, which puts you at a 1 energy advantage over your opponent. The next cards we're going to be talking about are actually going to be a set, which is going to set up your energy even more. On turn 1, if you're able to, you're going to play Bulma, God Tempter, and what she does is she lets you search your library for Whis, the Resting Attendant. And when he comes into play on turn 3, because you've already objectioned on turn 2, he's going to let you take the top card of your library and put it into your mana pool. So, by turn 3, you should now have 4 mana. And on turn 4, you'll be able to play Energy Boost Beerus. He is a 4-drop, which you already have 5 mana, which you need to activate his secondary ability, which is when you play this card and you have 5 or more energy in your energy pool, you can KO any battle card on the battlefield. This is probably one of the more powerful, if not most powerful cards in blue, but you do have to have 5 mana on the battlefield to activate that secondary ability. And aside from that, he has double strike, so he does hit pretty strong. The last card we're going to talk about is Energy Boosted Majin Buu. Very simple card, weak power, low energy cost. He comes in for 1, you play him on turn 1 if you don't have Bulma, and he lets you draw a card. And he has a free combo of 5,000, so while he's on the field doing nothing because all he did was draw you that card, you can go ahead and sacrifice him to your leader to save it with a free combo of 5,000. Now the next set of cards we're going to talk about is going to be a little bit different than the others. This is yellow, and yellow is control in this game. Now unlike the other sets of colors, yellow doesn't have a 1 mana negate. So we're going to start with the 2 mana Doria the Emperor's Attendant. 0 energy cost for 0 boost, unless you have 4 or less life, in which case you can draw your card and get 10,000. The next card we're going to talk about is Crusher Ball. It's a counterplay, so when your opponent plays a creature, you can play Crusher Ball, and that creature will come in tapped. So not only can that creature not attack, but on your turn, you can attack that creature to KO it. So it's a really powerful first, second, third turn card. The next card we're going to talk about is Cold Bloodlust. Now, in order for Cold Bloodlust to work, you have to have Frieza's Army as your leader card. And when you play Cold Bloodlust, it's a counter play. So whenever your opponent plays a card, you can negate the skill of their battle card. So any skills that we've talked about so far, like the come into play and destroy all of your battle cards of 1500 or less, this card will negate it. This makes everything useless for 1 simple energy. It's a really powerful card. Now, Battering Laser. This one's way out of left field. Your opponent will not see it coming. It's 1 energy for a counter. It is, to the best of my knowledge, the only counter in the game. So whenever your opponent activates a counter, you can activate Battering Laser and counter their counter. So if they think they're negating an attack, think again. The next card in this list is going to be Mecha Frieza, the Returning Terror. It has dual attack, which means after it attacks, it can untap and attack again. And when it comes into play, you discard a card from your hand, and you can destroy all of your opponent's rested battle cards. So it can come in on turn 4 and really devastate the battlefield. And when it does activate this ability, it also gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So on the turn that you activate it, you can swing with double strike, which deals 2 damage to your opponent's life, untap, and swing again, doing 2 more damage to your opponent's life. It is a severely overpowered card, and it's Frieza, so it's pretty cool. The last card on the yellow staples list is going to be King Cold, Father to the Emperor, Frieza's dad. Now there's a lot going on this card, guys. There's a lot of words here. So if you're like me and you don't like reading all the words on the bottom of a card, don't play him. But if you like winning, play him. So we're going to read this off for you. It is 4 energy for a 1500 with double strike. So already double strike, it's a pretty good attacker. But this card also has Revenge, which means when it is attacked, you KO the attacking card after the battle. Which is a pretty good ability, but it's an amazing ability when you add this next one. Counter. Battle card attack. So while your opponent is attacking, you can play this on their turn. Play this card from your hand and change the target of the attack to this card. So you can save your life by making sure your opponent attacks this card instead of your leader. And because he has Revenge, your opponent's card is going to die no matter how powerful it is. And its last ability, because it didn't already have enough, is Auto. When you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So when your opponent tries attacking you with 1 card, you play it, you kill that card, and then another card that he might have attacked you with later, you now tap it so he cannot attack you with it. There's a lot going on with this card, and you should have it in any yellow deck that you play. So those are the 4 colors to Dragon Ball Super, but I do want to show you these cards, 1 of each color, except for yellow. I didn't want to add these to their respective colors list because these cards can go into any deck no matter the color. Because the only reason to play these 3 cards is for their combo abilities. So even if I'm playing an all yellow deck or an all red deck, I'm still going to have some of these cards in there. The first one we're going to talk about is Sun Goten, Family of Justice. Forget about his energy cost and forget about his power level, because all you're going to do is combo for 1 to give your attacking battle card or leader 5,000 power. And when you do, you're going to KO your opponent's battle card of 3 energy or less. Furthering Destructive Champa, same thing, you're going to pay 1 to activate his combo ability. You're going to add 10,000 to the attacking card's power level, and you're going to give it double strike, which makes it deal 2 damage instead of 1 to your opponent. Now this one is super defensive. You don't play this on the offense. And it has a 0 cost to give your battle card or leader 5,000 power. And when you combo with this card, you can remove 1 combo card from your opponent's combo area and return it to his hand, making you win the fight between the 2 cards that are fighting each other. Okay guys, so from here we're going to go into a couple of leaders. Now the first set of leaders I'm going to show you are from the first set of Dragon Ball Super, and these are the leaders that you are seeing more often than not in the tournament scene. So the first one is going to be Vegeta, and what he does is he lets you remove a card from your life, add it to your hand. Remember we talked about that earlier. Whenever you're removing cards from your own life, you can activate your leader's ability a lot quicker. So he lets you remove 1 life from your life and add it to your hand, and gives him the critical ability, which means whenever it does deal damage to your opponent, he takes a life, and instead of adding it to his hand, he's going to discard it to his discard pile. One of my favorite things to do is Furthering Destructive Champa. Give him double strike, so your opponent takes 2 of their life cards and throws it away to the graveyard. They are not getting those into their hands. And when he turns over, he does get the same ability. Plus, whenever he attacks, he gets to draw a card. The next card is the King of Red, Champa. He has the ability of once per turn, whenever you attack with a battle card of 1500 or more power, you get to draw a card. So you can do that on turn 1 with Kaba. Whenever he does turn over, he gets the ability, it lets you discard a card from your hand and give any card, him or one of your battle cards, double strike for the duration of the turn. And whenever he attacks, you get to draw a card. The next card is going to be Son Gohan. Now what he does is whenever he attacks, if you have more life than your opponent, you get to draw a card. Doesn't seem all that powerful, but whenever you do awaken him, and he's the main one that your opponents are not going to want him awakened, so they're going to leave you at 5. So that's when Full Power Vegeta comes, or Furious Yell Vegeta comes into play. So you can bring yourself down to 4 and activate him, because when you have him active, for 6 energy, you get to destroy all of your opponent's battle cards. There's no way to negate that. They're just dead. And whenever he attacks, you get to draw a card. The next card is going to be one of, if not the main leader for yellow. This is Frieza, and what he does is you can sacrifice one of your Frieza's army cards from your battlefield to the graveyard and untap 1 mana and draw 1 card. And whenever he's awakened and becomes Golden Frieza, you can do the same thing, discard a battle card from your field that's Frieza's army, only now you can untap 2 energies, and whenever he attacks you draw a card. And you want to have your energies untapped in yellow so that you can play those counter cards to control the game. The last card from the first set is going to be Super Saiyan God Son Goku. What he does is when he attacks, he lets you untap 1 blue energy. It has to be blue, but that does leave your energy open for things like negates. And when he's active, whenever he attacks, he lets you untap 2 blue energies, giving you more energy to respond with. and whenever he attacks, you get to draw a card. So these three are from the newest set, and they are some of the ones that I've seen. Two of them are some that I've seen do a lot of work, and one of them is one that I think is going to be very big. People probably just haven't realized yet. So the first one is going to be Vegito. And the reason why Vegito is so amazing is he is red, but he makes all of your Vegetas and Gokus count as red, green, and blue, and no matter where they are. So if I have this Furious Yo Vegeta in my energy pool, I can tap him for green because he's green, but thanks to Vegito I can also tap him for blue energy and for red energy. So it lets you play all three colors and never have to worry about not having the right energy because your Vegetas and Gokus are all three colors. And he has the same ability when he turns over, only he gains a secondary ability of whenever there's 10 or more Vegetas and Gokus in your graveyard, he gains double strike on the attack. So he makes himself a little bit stronger. The next card is going to be Cell. And what he does is he lets you take any card from your hand, put it underneath him, and you automatically KO or destroy one of your opponent's battle cards with the mana cost of 3 or less. And once he's awakened, all your cards that you've been chunking under there are going to stay there. So his awakened abilities are Activate Main. Once per turn, place one card from your hand under this card, draw 2 cards from your library. And Activate Main. Once per turn, place 2 cards from under this card into the drop area, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and KO it. And that one, it doesn't matter the mana cost. It can be more than 3. So for the first couple of turns of the game, you're just loading him, and once he flips, you start popping off your opponent's battle cards. I think this is going to be one of the top 5 leaders coming up. And the last one seems a little underwhelming, but I think it's going to be amazing, and that's Blue Trunks. So what he does is once per turn, during your turn, when you combo with a card with energy cost of 2 or more, it lets you draw a card automatically. And there's not too much drawing in this game. Obviously you draw a card on the beginning of your turn, you draw a card every time you take a damage, and you draw a card every time your awakened leader attacks. Other than that, there's very few cards that are going to let you consistently draw in this game. But having Trunks Hope of the Future, which is his reverse side that has the exact same ability, is letting you draw at least 2 cards every turn. Once when you combo, once when you attack, and he gives you the ability to draw. And having that many cards in your hand, that many options, that many answers to what your opponent can do, I think is really going to take over the game. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. We really hope you enjoyed it. We have more coming soon from Grimworks Productions. We're going to be bringing you deck techs where we pull apart our decks, show you what's in them, show you how they work, show you how everything works together. Even if there's things in there that don't work together, sometimes we're going to play a card just because we really like that character. We're also going to have matches between me and Tony and me and Eric, or Eric and Tony. And we'll show you a lot of cussing because, well, we don't like to lose to each other, especially after this many years of playing games together. If you would like and you're interested, you should watch some of our other videos from Grimworks Productions. We have our City podcast. If you're into Warhammer 40k or Age of Sigmar, we have videos and podcasts that have those type of tabletop miniature games. Like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Did we miss any staples? Do you think anything I mentioned shouldn't be on the staples list? Go ahead and let me know. We love feedback, even if it's negative. You know, everything helps out. So like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next video.